Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here, and recently on one of my videos a viewer put a comment on there requesting me to do a torture test on a Maverick 88 and also to do a video on the different upgrades that you can do to the Maverick 88 to be a home defense shotgun. So I'm never ever going to do a torture test on any of my guns just because I'm a small YouTube channel, don't have a lot of money, don't have any sponsors to give me free guns or to pay for the guns and ammunition that I use. I do everything myself, pay for everything 100% myself. So that's just not going to happen. I'm not going to take a gun that I purchased with my own money and basically destroy it because in my opinion, that's just stupid. There are other YouTube videos for that, and other channels that do that sort of thing to get that sort of data. So I'm not going to be one of those YouTube channels, but I will, however, show off all the upgrades that I have done to this shotgun to be my home defense gun and my go-to shotgun, and maybe kind of explain some things that I plan to do to it in the future that I haven't done to it yet. So I do have a few videos on putting this together, but I don't have, I didn't necessarily show every single thing that I've done to it, but I do have like a part 1, 2, and 3 for my home defense shotgun build where I did a few things to this gun. But I'll just kind of do an overview on what I've done to it. So first thing I did was I took this high-vis fiber optic front sight that just clamps on there. I forget how much that was, but it was very inexpensive because it was a blemished item that they took like 15% off of from Midway USA. I have a green tube in it right now, and it also came with a red, an orange, and a yellow. So you have 4 different color options, and it just works great for low light conditions, and gives you a nice high vis front sight. So I kind of like it. It just clamps on right in front of the bead, or right behind the bead, I guess. So it just makes a nice option. Of course, this is a 20-inch barrel with a 7-round tube. So kind of the biggest, the most capacity, and 20 inches is probably the longest that I would go for a home defense gun. So 20-inch barrel, 7-round tube. Depending on the gun, you could get an 8-round tube with like your Mossberg 590. But we're talking about budget guns in this video, so Maverick 88 is what we're talking about. For a sling, I had to put sling swivels on this somehow because this particular gun did not come with any sort of sling swivels. Newer Maverick 88s will have a sling swivel down here. It's usually a molded in sling swivel, which is part of the stock. Now, what I did on this particular gun, because this did not come with any sort of sling swivels, is I took this 3-way Picatinny rail, which basically it just clamps on to your mag tube, and I got some QD mounts. So this, it came in a pack of 2, so I got these QD sling mounts that I put one on the bottom of this tube, and I have one extra. And so that's how I got my front sling swivel. And also this little Picatinny rail thing works good for putting a light on in the future, which I do plan on doing. I want to going to do some research, see what the best bang for the buck is for a good home defense shotgun flashlight. So I do not have one currently, but that is one thing that will happen in the future at some point. For a rear sling swivel, I just got these Uncle Mike's sling swivel and stud set. It was meant for like a bolt action rifle, meant to go into like wood. So I put one, drilled a hole, put one sling stud in here, and then the one sling swivel here. And then I have the other one I put into another shotgun, basically just the same exact setup. So this was like, I don't know, $10 I think for a set of these. So not too bad. And the sling itself is just, let me get it into frame here, is just a cheap Midway USA sling, nothing special, just a long piece of webbing with some little, I forget what you call these, but these little like plastic buckle things that you just weave it into. So very inexpensive. It was like, I don't know, $6 or something. Not a whole lot of money. It was pretty long when I got it, so I just kind of cut it down, cut it at an angle and burned the ends. So I basically just cut it down to what I thought was a good length for shouldering, and there are all kinds of other tactical ways of using a sling. The last thing I did to this gun is I put a Velcro side saddle on it. So this is just a side saddle that was made by Brown Coat Tactical. They have several different versions of this. You can get like 4, 5, 6, maybe even up to like 8 round side saddles, and they're Velcro, and they come in 12 and 20 gauge, and they also come in black and like coyote tan or flat dark earth or whatever they call it, but basically just a tan color. So they're not very expensive. I think this one was like maybe $16 for one of these, and it does come with the back side, the other side of the Velcro comes in a set, so that's really nice. And one other thing that I would want to do in the future is get another one of those and put it right on the buttstock. So have 6 rounds there on the side of the receiver and 6 rounds on the side of the stock, and maybe even like keep different kinds of ammunition. So I have this Winchester PDX-1 Defender ammunition, which is like a slug and buckshot. So I might keep 6 rounds of that maybe on the stock, and then maybe 6 rounds of buckshot on the receiver, plus 7 rounds of buckshot in the tube. So that's a pretty good amount of extra ammunition, in my opinion. These are just the things that I've done to this particular shotgun, and that's really all I personally would ever want to do to it. Now you can of course get pistol grips and like collapsible stocks and stuff if you want. I'm not that kind of a person. You can also get shorter length of pull stocks like Magpul and Hogue, and several other companies make short length of pull stocks because some YouTubers and other gun enthusiasts think that a good short length of pull is best for home defense, because of just the way that they put the gun. Some of them put the gun in their chest as opposed to on their shoulder. I'm not really one to do that or necessarily advocate that you do that, but that is another thing you can do. The Maverick 88 does not come with any sort of drilled and tapped holes on the top of the receiver, so you really can't do any sort of like ghost ring sights or anything, but I think there are like these little like covers that go over the whole receiver that do have like rails and stuff that you can put either red dots or scopes or other sights on. So I mean, that I guess is an option if you want to do that. I personally think that the best option for a good home defense shotgun is just some sort of bead on the front of the gun, because one thing to line up with your target is easier to acquire than 2 things to line up with your target. So I just went with a good high-vis fiber optic sight, and that's why I went that route instead of ghost ring sights or rifle sights or whatever, or a scope. I don't know who would put a scope on a home defense shotgun, but like a red dot or something. Some people prefer red dots. I do not. But those are all of the upgrades that I have done to my Maverick 88 home defense shotgun, and a couple things that I haven't done yet that I plan to do in the future. Pretty, simple, straightforward, no frills kind of add-ons, no special stocks, no special sights, just kind of the basics and just basic upgrades. I don't really recommend that you go all out and have like these giant rail systems and all this other stuff that will add weight and bulk to your shotgun. Just basic, basic sling, maybe a basic high-vis sight, a simple way to keep some extra rounds on it, and that's really it, and a flashlight. So that's my home defense Maverick 88. Maybe someday I'll upgrade to like a 590 and get like one extra round, but in the meantime, I don't really see the reason to do that, just because this is already good enough for me. So subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.